Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for this month's horoscopes and forecast. Welcome to spooky season. I'm Pixar T. I tried dressing in black for spooky season, wearing a shirt from my friend Hannah. Love you, Hannah. But let's get started, because this month we have a lot happening. So first, I'm going to discuss the main transits and main events this month, which is a lot. But after that, I'll go into each sign and talk about the themes for this month for each sign. So remember to look at the timestamps. And for reference, when I bring up a sign, I'm usually referring to your rising sign. So I recommend you look at your rising sign first. But if you don't know your birth time, you can always look at your sun sign or your moon sign. So let's get to it. Overview this month. We have a new moon in Libra and a full moon in Aries. 4 planets stationed direct. That's Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury. We have a couple ingresses. We have the Sun entering Scorpio season beginning. We have Venus entering Sagittarius, and we have Mars entering Scorpio. All good things. Everything's getting into better shape than it was. But as for transits, things might be a little bit rocky. It won't get there smoothly, I must say. Mercury and Mars can join the Sun and form their Cazimi pretty much at the same time, within 2 days of each other. And also Venus conjoins the South Node. So that's basically the overview for this month. And let's go ahead and jump in, and I will talk about the main events. Let's begin with October 1st. On October 1st, Mercury retrograde squares Pluto in Capricorn at 24 degrees. Around these days, we may be feeling extra investigative, we may be doing more research, maybe pushing on obsessive, maybe hearing or delivering intense messages. Be aware of power plays and control dynamics. And this may be related to something that happened September 21st when Mercury made its first square with Pluto. This is part 2 of the story, and we still have another part 3, so the story's not wrapped up yet. Gemini and Virgo and all the cardinal signs will be feeling this the most intensely. The same day, Mars opposes Chiron. So there could be some wounds around boundaries, some ouchies around boundaries or assertion or autonomy, maybe abandonment or separation coming up. This could be in regards to relationships because it has to do with Aries and Libra. So Aries, Scorpio, and Libra will feel this the most intensely. And let's move on to October 6th. We have our new moon in Libra. That's at 13 degrees, and at the same time, it is conjoining Mars and opposing Chiron. So there may be a new beginning around boundaries, assertion, fairness, maybe in regards to relationships or independence. Libra and the rest of the cardinal signs will be feeling this the most intensely. Cancer and Leo may need extra rest during the new moon. That same day, Pluto stations direct. There's some sort of intensity, some sort of pressure, and some sort of release. Pluto is slowing down and then changing direction to station going forward again. So when a planet slows down, it can be kind of frustrating. Things can move a bit slower than you're hoping. But overall, it's good that Pluto is moving forward again. Capricorns and the rest of the cardinal signs will be feeling this the most intensely. It might feel like a shift in the right direction, finally, and with something that you've been dealing with for many, many years, because Pluto is very slow. But that's exciting. That's the first planet that stations direct in October. And then the next day, on October 7th, in the morning, Venus enters Sagittarius. And this is great news for Venus, because Venus was in detriment in Scorpio. So Taurus, Libra, and Sag are in for some major blessings, major upgrades, and also feeling a lot of relief. So everybody's pleasure and enjoyment, relationships, social time, art, creativity, all get a major boost. And in the evening, the Sun conjoins Mars, and so Mars has its Cazimi at 15 degrees Libra. So Mars Cazimi happens exact on this day. So up until this day, our Aries and Scorpios might be feeling a bit tired. All of us, our vitality might be a little bit lower than usual, a bit more impatient. Mars is essentially going through its death and rebirth, and we'll be feeling the same thing for the next couple days, because on October 9th, Mercury joins them. So Mercury has its Cazimi right after Mars has its Cazimi. we essentially have a Mercury-Mars-Sun conjunction. So we're feeling a lot of the same stuff as I just described. A great couple days to be extra gentle with yourself. And with Mercury's Cazimi, that may bring challenges around communication, travel, or technology. Overall, it's a good thing because there's some sort of blessing that occurs during a Cazimi, but in the end, it still is a renewal, so it can still be tiring. And with Mars there as well, you can bet it'll be really busy in our Libra house. And we'll talk about what that means a little bit later. Also, that same day, Venus conjoins the South Node, so we may be feeling a little bit of grief, maybe feeling like letting go, or maybe a little bit of loss involved, maybe extra annoyances or issues coming up. But overall, this can be healing because it's during the retrograde, and so there's still more to come. And then on the next day, on October 10th, Saturn in Aquarius stations direct. So this is a super good shift for Capricorn and all the fixed signs for the next coming weeks. There's a shift in the right direction, feeling like moving forward with a new system implemented possibly. Overall, a great thing for our Saturn-ruled houses. On October 17th, Jupiter stations direct at 22 degrees of Aquarius. So our Aquarius house is getting a big jump forward, a big jump start, I should say. It's a good shift for all of us when Jupiter stations direct, especially for our Aquariuses and for our Pisces and Sagittariuses. There's a possible blessing for us when Jupiter starts moving forward again, but overall, maybe just a shift in your attitude, maybe feeling a little more positive, feeling like moving forward again after going over so much with all these retrogrades for the past couple weeks. At the same time, the Sun is squaring Pluto at 24 degrees Cap. So again, at that 24 degrees of the cardinal signs, we're going to be feeling a bit of power dynamics. This month, we have a lot going on between the Capricorn house and the Libra house. So a lot of power plays, control dynamics, power that you feel you have and that you can use, and or power that you feel is being used on you by the authorities. But just be aware of these control dynamics and be aware of your power or giving your power away. Leos may have low vitality during this time, but the next day, on October 18th, Mercury stations direct. So this week, Mercury stops and slowly starts to move forward again. So there could be possible hiccups with technology, with travel, with communication, but in the end, it could end up being an upgrade. It could end up being a good thing because Mercury's starting to move forward again. It could be a little bit frustrating because it is a bit slow as it starts to move forward again, but overall it is a shift in the right direction. Whatever we've been trying out during the Mercury retrograde, we have tried, the trial period is over, and now we're going to implement the new information we've learned during this Mercury retrograde. And so, Geminis and Virgos are going to feel this with their vitality. You might feel like you're more yourself again. You might feel like something has cleared up for us, but especially in our Libra house, because that's where Mercury is stationing direct. Let's see. And then on October 20th, we have our full moon in Aries. That's at 27 degrees of Aries. So this week, the vibes are probably under the surface really high energy, because the full moon will be in Mars's sign, but Mars is going to be in Libra. So it can't act out like it likes to. For us, there could be some sort of culmination. Something maybe is finishing up from 2 weeks ago. Maybe there's an illumination in our Aries house. Maybe we have a realization. But overall, it's still a full moon. Still going to be kind of wonky, still silly. And Aries and the rest of the cardinal signs will be feeling this full moon the most intensely. And let's go ahead to the next day. On October 21st, we have our Mars-Pluto square at that 24 degrees of Capricorn again. And so this is kind of the most intense aspect of the month with those themes between the Libra and Capricorn houses. Around these days, the vibes might be pretty intense, dramatic, possibly explosive or powerful, maybe relating to your authorities, your autonomy, your independence, and control, power dynamics, the cardinal signs will be feeling this the most. And then the next day, Scorpio season begins, but not until the evening. So let's talk about October 23rd. You wake up on October 23rd and the sun has entered Scorpio. It is officially Scorpio season. And the fixed signs are going to be feeling a major boost here, especially Leos and especially Scorpios. The sun is leaving its fall, so we all might get a little bit of a leg up when Scorpio season begins. And then on October 26th, Venus in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces at 20 degrees. So this is kind of a fun transit if we don't let it get away from us too much. It's a dreamy fantasy transit. Creativity is highlighted, romance is highlighted, idealism, magic, fantasy. But also the downside of being too creative is possibly illusions or delusions or anxiety, paranoia. That can also be something that comes up. But overall, it's a really magical transit and really fun. On October 30th, Mars enters Scorpio, and the sun in Scorpio squares Saturn in Aquarius. Scorpio and Aries are definitely going to feel a bit of a relief when Mars moves into Scorpio. Libra will also feel a bit of a relief. I would say that everyone's energy levels improve. We may get the gumption to do something that we've been thinking about doing or talking about for a while, and finally doing it, making a move. Autonomy and power is highlighted with Mars moving into its home sign of Scorpio. At the same time, due to that Saturn square, there may be a block, a delay, a restriction, or just a lot of hard work involved in these next couple days with this square. And then the next day, for Halloween on the 31st, we have a fun transit. We have Mercury trining Jupiter. And so that's just a fun transit for Halloween. A good time to do what you love to do, a good time for scary movies, or for dressing up, hanging out with friends. Overall, a nice Halloween. So that's the overview for the month. Next up, I will talk about what's in store for each of the signs. Find your timestamps in the description below. And let's go ahead and put Aries on the ascendant. All right, for my Aries, this month we have a lot of activity with your identity, the way that you present yourself, also with your relationships or with your one-on-one or client work, and also with your vocation and reputation in general. This is a big month for Aries and a big month for cardinal signs. The first aspect I'm going to mention for you is October 7th. That would be the Mars Cazimi, and that is important because you as an Aries are Mars ruled. And so you will be having a renewal this week, the week of October 7th, some sort of death and rebirth, not necessarily literal. It's nothing to be afraid of, but there could be some sort of change around you, around your identity, around your body, around your assertions or your boundaries, possibly. Maybe a renewal in your relationships, feeling a renewal of some kind, essentially. Your vitality will probably be affected. You may need more rest than usual the week of October 7th. And then let's move on to October 18th. Mercury stations direct at 10 degrees Libra. The new and full moons are also on this axis. So for you, again, this month, more focus on new beginnings or endings, or just new phases, I should say. When Mercury stations direct for you, the new information that you've gathered for the past couple weeks during the retrograde has been implemented, and you can move forward with this new information, with this renewal. This will be for you with relationships, one-on-one time, client work, or again with your identity or your body, how you present yourself. But the trial period is over and you're moving forward, moving in the right direction. And the third aspect I have for Aries this month is October 21st. Mars in Libra squares Pluto in Capricorn. And this is probably the most intense couple days of the month. In general, we have a lot going on for you with your close relationships, as well as your vocation or praxis, what you're known for doing, your career, possibly. Maybe a lot of activity with your partner or with your crush, or maybe a lot of activity with friends or coworkers. Maybe some sort of job change or a change within your job, and dealing with all the tensions between all of that. So The days around this transit in particular will be especially intense or pressure filled or drama filled. Just be aware of that. Keep your grounding tools handy during the times of October 21st. And so that's what I have for Aries this month. Please comment below. Let me know what you have planned. I would love to hear from you. And let's move on to Taurus. So for Taurus, this month, there's a lot of focus on your daily routine, your daily work, your coworkers, your health, or your pets. And then later in the month, the focus shifts to one-on-one work, maybe client work, or just more focus with your relationships or your partnership. But let's go ahead and jump in first. The first day is October 10th. That is when Saturn stations direct in Aquarius. That's at 6 degrees Aquarius. There is some sort of shift in the right direction, feeling like moving forward with a new system implemented with your vocation, with your praxis, with your job, with your career. There's something that shifts in the right direction and you move forward there. A week later, on October 17th, Jupiter stations direct in Aquarius at 22 degrees. So Jupiter stationing direct, this could be a major shift and a major blessing for your vocation, for your praxis, for what you're known for doing or your reputation. Some sort of blessing here. So we have Saturn stationing direct, we have a new system implemented and moving forward there. And then a week later, Jupiter stations direct and some sort of blessing comes through, some sort of boost comes through with your vocation. And then a couple days later, on October 21st, we have Mars in Libra squaring Pluto in Capricorn. So this is kind of around these days, it might feel a little bit intense, might feel a little bit dramatic or pressure filled, relating to authority or power structures or power dynamics, control. For you, this will be with your daily routine, your daily work, possibly coworkers, your health, or your pets. So be aware of extra pressure and extra irritations happening with Mars squaring Pluto. It's a pretty explosive transit, so keep that date on your calendar, keep your grounding tools ready. And the last transit I'm going to talk about for you is on October 23rd. I just want to talk about Scorpio season for my Tauruses. At the end of this month, focus shifts for you to relationships, to your close partnerships, to your one-on-one work, and possibly client work. And that'll be the focus when the sun is in Scorpio for the next 30 days, for the next season, until Sag season. So that's what I have for my Tauruses this month. Please comment below. Let me know what you have planned. I would love to hear from you. And let's move on to Gemini. Okay, for Geminis, this month in October, we have a lot of focus on our projects, on our creations, on our art, also possibly on our romance, on our dating, or what we do for fun, our recreation, also, and or our children. Big focus there this month. Okay, I'm going to start with October 7th. We have Venus entering Sagittarius, and this is super great for my mutable signs, especially Gemini. Our pleasure, our relationships, our social time, our creativity all gets a major boost. Blessings for your one-on-one time. Maybe a helpful woman comes into your life, but overall, Venus moving into Sagittarius is super great for my Geminis. But then on October 9th, we have our Mercury Cazimi. So for Gemini, Mercury is your ruling planet. So Mercury going through its Cazimi, it's going through its renewal. What does this mean for you? For you, this means some sort of renewal, some sort of death and then rebirth. A lot of activity for you, probably with your art, your projects, your creative projects, what you're working on. Also with your romance, your dating and sex life, your recreation, your gaming, what you do for fun, and or your children or your kids' life. Some sort of renewal there, maybe having extra annoyances or issues coming up, but there is a hidden blessing involved with a Cazimi. So amidst all of the issues, there is some blessing and some renewal, and things begin to move in the right direction. Because on October 18th, Mercury stations direct, so it does begin to move in the right direction. That's your planet. It goes through its renewal and then it stations direct again. So your vitality begins to improve around October 18th. You might start to feel more like yourself, might start to feel more prepared to move forward. Gemini is going to be feeling this especially with your projects and your creations and all of those themes I've been mentioning. But the trial period is over and you're moving forward with new information gathered. And that's what I have for Geminis this month. So please let me know what you have planned. I would love to hear from you, and comment below. And then let's move on to Cancer. Cancer. For you this month, there's a lot of activity with your home life, with your property, with your roots or your family. So let's jump right into October 9th. That is when we have our, essentially these couple days, we have our Mars and Mercury Cazimi. So Mars and Mercury are conjoining the Sun. So for you, there will be a lot of focus on your home life, your property, your family, your roots, your ancestors, a lot of activity happening there, possibly some sort of renewal. Energy levels are probably erratic, maybe extra annoyances or issues coming up with your vitality, or also with technology, communication, or travel. Maybe feeling some sort of grief because around that same day, Venus is conjoining the South Node. But overall, it is some sort of rebirth, some sort of death and rebirth and renewal. So it might be a challenging couple of days around October 7th through October 9th, but overall it is a renewal and we're heading in the right direction. Because then on October 18th, Mercury stations direct in Libra. So Mercury goes through its Cazimi, it has a renewal, and then it stations direct again. And so information has been gathered, and the next step is implemented. You're going to be feeling this again with your home life. Something, some new information that you've been working on for the past couple weeks has been gathered and implemented, and you can move forward now with whatever you're doing with your home or with your family or your roots, your ancestors, that sort of thing. The trial period is over. And the last aspect I'm going to talk about for you is October 21st. We have our Mars-Pluto square. So the cardinal signs will be feeling this really intensely. There's some sort of tension that's been going on all month between these houses, and it might feel a bit intense. You might be feeling pressure building, might be some sort of drama or some sort of explosion. And this will be relating again to your home life, to your family, to your roots, your ancestors, and your property. And it'll also involve your relationship, some sort of rock in a hard place. Something needs to be integrated, hard conversations. But anyway, this day, very intense. So be aware, have your grounding tools ready. Today's probably not the day to have the conversation, but all of the feelings will be felt. And that's what I have for Cancer this month. So please comment below. Let me know what you have planned. I would love to hear from my Cancers. And I'm going to move on to Leo. All right, Leos. For you this month, there's a lot of focus on your community. So that's who you commune with. That's your roommates, your siblings, your extended family, your neighbors. Also, your car or short-term travel, however you travel around your neighborhood. Also, schooling and the mind, the way that you've been thinking about something, possibly education if you're doing some sort of school, but also just realizations and changing the way you've been thinking about something. Also, divination could be a theme. October 10th is important for you because Saturn stations direct in Aquarius. So finally, there's some sort of shift in the right direction feeling like moving forward with a new system implemented that's been tried out for the past couple months with Saturn moving backwards. It's now moving forward with this new system implemented. For you, this will probably be with your relationships. It could be your close partnership, or it could be your friends, it could be your coworkers, whoever you spend one-on-one time with. Some sort of system is moving forward with your relationships. And on October 17th, we have Jupiter stationing direct. We also have the Sun squaring Pluto. So for you, it may be an intense or dramatic feeling day, highlighting power dynamics with your daily work, your daily routine, possibly your coworkers, maybe it affecting your health, or maybe it affects your pets. But also, it has to do with your community, again, who you commune with, your roommates, your neighbors, the people close by you. Be aware of control and power dynamics there. Keep your grounding tools ready. But at the same time, Jupiter is stationing direct in Aquarius. So there's some sort of major blessing or shift with your relationships. Some sort of helping hand comes through when Jupiter stations direct. That's an exciting thing for your relationships. So while you may be having issues with your coworkers or with your neighborhood, you are having a good time with your relationship. And then I want to talk about October 30th for my Leos. We have Mars entering Scorpio, and we also have the Sun squaring Saturn. So for Scorpio season, focus for you shifts to your home life, your property, your roots, your family, rest, and homeostasis. It's a really good self-care season for Leos, especially Leo risings. Nurture yourself. Family allegiance is highlighted for better or for worse. It's Mars and Scorpio, so I'd like to say that it's a good thing, but it could be Scorpio is just so diehard, you know? So family allegiances are highlighted. At the same time, because of that Saturn square, there can be some sort of block or delay, restriction, or just a lot of hard work involved with your home, your property, your family, your roots, and also your relationships. So that's what I have for Leo this month. Please let me know what you have planned. Comment below. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you are going to be for Halloween. And I'm going to move on to Virgo. So for my Virgos, there's a lot of focus this month on your stuff. That is your personal possessions, your physical things, maybe shopping. Also money in general, finances, and income are all focuses this month. Let's start with October 7th. On October 7th, Venus enters Sagittarius, and this is a great transit for you. There's some sort of blessing with your home life, with your property, your roots, your family, some sort of major blessing or upgrade when Venus moves into Sag. And on October 18th, Mercury stations direct, which is great for Virgos. It's stationing direct at 10 degrees Libra. So finally, your planet coming back to life. You might be feeling your vitality get a little bit better. You might be feeling a little bit more like yourself. For the past couple weeks, information has been gathered, and that new information or old information that you've gathered during the Mercury retrograde is now being put into effect and can now be applied. And for you, this is going to be related to your finances, your money, and also your physical stuff, your material possessions. Something new possibly, or old stuff getting rearranged, but a shift in the right direction with your things and in general, because this is your planet and it's stationing direct. So the trial period is over and you get to move forward. And then on October 21st, we have Mars squaring Pluto. And this is the most intense, probably the most intense aspect of the month. It's intense, it's dramatic, it's explosive, it's powerful. So for you, this could go two ways. We have really intense, dramatic, explosive, powerful stuff, maybe really good sex, maybe really good dating time, It could go the opposite direction where there's too much control, too much power, too intense. This could be related to your income. It could be related to your projects in general, your games, your fun. For you, it won't be as intense as it is for most people, but it is going to affect possibly your things. There may be a material possession involved, or a project involved. So that's what I have for my Virgos. And please let me know what you have planned. Let me know what you're going to be for Halloween. Comment below. I would love to hear from you. And I'm going to move on. For Libras, this month there's a lot of activity with you, a lot of activity with your relationships, and then focus shifts to your stuff and your money and your material possessions. I'm going to start with October 9th. We have a Mercury-Mars-Sun conjunction. Mars and Mercury are going through their Cazimi around the same time. That same day, your ruling planet Venus conjoins the South Node. So October 9th might be a bit challenging. A good time to have your grounding tools ready. There will be a lot of focus on your identity, how your body, how you see the world, how the world sees you, and also your relationships, your one-on-one time. So something's going on with you and your relationships. Your vitality may be affected. You may be extra tired, extra down in the dumps. Maybe lots of annoyances or issues coming up. You might be experiencing having to let go of something or some grief. But overall, it can be healing because it's during the retrograde, so there's still more to come. There's still more to wrap up, I should say. Overall, it is a renewal, some sort of major renewal happening for you and your identity and your relationships, possibly. And then on October 18th, Mercury stations direct, and this is in Libra, like a lot is going on in Libra. Information has been gathered for the past couple weeks. The next step is implemented, maybe with your identity, your body, how you are seen, and also your relationships and your one-on-one time. There could be possible hiccups with technology, just because when Mercury stations direct, it has to slow down before moving forward again. So there could be some snafus that come up, but overall they will get resolved quickly, and we are shifting in the right direction when Mercury stations direct. And then on October 21st, we have the other difficult aspect of the month, and that is Mars squaring Pluto. And so this day might feel a bit intense, might feel pressure building, might be dramatic, might be explosive. This may be related to autonomy for you, for how you see the world, for your body, your identity, and also with your home life, with your property, with your family and your ancestors and your roots. There may be some sort of rock and hard place coming up between your identity and your home life or your roots. Be aware of the power and control dynamics that come up as well. There's a lot of energy available to you, but there probably won't be very productive conversations happening this day. So just the feels, just being in your feels and gathering the information, and then you can talk about it later. But Mars squaring Pluto will be intense. So that's what I have for Libra this month. Please let me know what you're going to be for Halloween. Please let me know what you have this month, what you have going on. Comment below. I would love to hear from you. Okay, Scorpios. There's a lot of surprise activity or surprising activity happening for Scorpios this month because stuff in Libra is hard for Scorpio to see. But later in the month, Scorpio season begins, so things get a little bit easier for the Scorpios once that starts. Let's start with October 7th. On October 7th, Venus enters Sagittarius, which is a major boost, major blessings for our pleasure and enjoyment. Also for our finances and income and material possessions. That same day in the evening, Mars has its Cazimi, and Mars is Scorpio's ruling planet. So Mars is conjoining the sun, burning up and having its renewal. Your vitality may be affected. You may be feeling tired, restless, burnt up, burnt out. If you can rest, I highly recommend resting during the Mars Cazimi. There may be extra annoyances or issues coming up, feeling defeated, maybe some grief or letting go. But overall, this is a death and a rebirth. So overall, this is a renewal. And after the Mars Cazimi on October 7th, Scorpios will be feeling a lot more like themselves, feeling a lot more, feeling like their assertion and their independence and autonomy is more accessible. And overall, this is healing. Overall, this is a shift in the right direction. A couple days later, on October 10th, Saturn stations direct in Aquarius. And so this is a shift in the right direction, feeling like moving forward with a new system implemented with your home life, with your roots, with your property, with your family, possibly. Jupiter also stations direct about a week later, so there could be a major blessing involved with your home life or with your property or your family as well. So there's some good stuff happening with your home life. Then Scorpio season begins. I'm going to talk about October 30th. That is when Mars enters Scorpio and we have a Sun-Saturn square. So when Mars enters Scorpio, that's October 30th, your vitality improves. Our ruling planet moves into Scorpio, which is its ruling sign. So identity, body, how you're seen, how you view the world is highlighted, for better or for worse, probably for the better. At the same time, because Saturn is squaring the Sun, there could be some sort of block, delay, restriction, or just a lot of hard work or alone working hard with your home, with your property, with your roots. So that's what I have for Scorpios this month. I would love to hear from you. Please let me know what you're going to be for Halloween. Let me know what you have planned in general this month. I would love to hear from you. Comment below. And I'm going to move on to Sagittarius. Alright, for my Sages, this month there's a lot of focus on friends, groups, networks, as well as your home life. Focus then shifts to self-care for Scorpio season, I would recommend. Let's start with October 7th. On October 7th, Venus enters Sagittarius, and that is a major boost and major blessing for my Sagittariuses. The planet of blessing moves into your sign, so this could also be a major blessing for you and your relationships. Maybe a helpful woman comes into your life, but overall, October 7th is a great day for my Sages. Later that night, Mars conjoins the Sun, and a couple days later, on October 9th, Mercury joins them, and we have a Mercury-Mars-Sun conjunction. Mercury and Mars have their Cazimi in Libra. What does this mean for you? A lot of focus on your friends, on your allies, maybe old friends, maybe an annoyance comes up or an issue comes up, hard conversations. You may experience some sort of feelings of letting go or grief. There is some sort of death and rebirth happening, because also, besides the Cazimi death and rebirths, we also have Venus conjoining the South Node in Sagittarius. So it can be kind of a down in the dumps kind of day. That is October 9th. Overall, it's healing because it is during the retrograde, and more will get resolved as time goes on. But just be aware of this day, have your grounding tools ready. Hopefully you can rest with whatever comes up. And then on October 17th, Jupiter stations direct, which is huge for my Sagittariuses. You're probably going to start feeling way more like yourself, feeling like you have a leg up or the upper hand. Your vitality improves greatly, feeling like maybe something is resolved and things are now moving in the right direction for you. And there could be a shift or a blessing for you on the topics of community. So for you, your community could be your roommates, your neighbors, the people that you hang out with. Also, could have to do with your car, and it could have to do with education, or the way that you've been thinking about something changes for the better. So that's what I have for my Sages this month. Please comment below and let me know what you're going to be for Halloween. Let me know what you have planned in general this month. I would love to hear from you. And now I'm going to move on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorns, a lot of focus on your vocation this month. You're probably going to be a lot busier during Libra season. It might slow down a little bit during Scorpio season when the sun moves into Scorpio, but a lot of energy spent, lots of renewals, and lots of changes for your vocation and praxis. Going to jump right into October 9th. That is around the time we have our Mercury and Mars Cazimi. Mercury and Mars conjoins the sun, and also Venus conjoins the south node. So for you, this is a lot of focus on your vocation, on your career, possibly your praxis, what you are known for doing, your reputation. A lot of focus there. Possibly a renewal, or maybe just having extra annoyances, extra fires to put out, hard conversations, possibly. You may experience feelings of letting go or grief. Maybe something doesn't work and needs to be redone, but it's a good thing because you end up redoing it and it's better than the time before. That's a total retrograde Cazimi event. Overall, this is healing because it is during the retrograde, so more will get resolved as time moves on, but a lot of energy going into your vocation for this month. The next day, on October 10th, Saturn stations direct, and this is great for my Capricorns. This is your ruling planet, so when Saturn stations direct, you could feel more like yourself. You could feel more like you have a leg up in some way, feeling like you're moving forward with a new system implemented. For you, this will be with your finances, with your money, with your physical possessions, some sort of new system implemented and moving in the right direction there. And the last aspect I'm going to talk about for my Caps is October 21st. Mars squares Pluto. So you're going to be feeling this pretty intense because, as you know, Pluto has been in Capricorn for some years now. But when Mars and Pluto square off, it's pretty intense. It's pretty dramatic, pretty explosive, lots of feels. For you, it could be kind of surprising and maybe feel like it came out of nowhere, even though it didn't. You could be focusing on the power and control dynamics going on with your vocation or with your praxis, what you're known for doing, power that you feel like you have and that you can use, or power that you feel like is being used against you or on you by the authorities. Just be aware of the major power plays or control dynamics happening from you and from those around you. Remember your grounding tools for this day. There's going to be some push and pull with the Libra and the Capricorn houses this entire month, so be aware of this coming up. And that's what I have for Caps this month. Please comment below. Let me know what you're going to be for Halloween, or let me know what you have planned this month. I would love to hear from you. And moving on to Aquarius. For Aquariuses, this month there's a lot of focus for you with the higher mind. So this could be higher mind topics, could be education, travel, spirituality, philosophy or religion, storytelling, or dreams. Later in the month, when Scorpio season begins, you may get a little bit busier and focus shifts to your vocation. So let's start with October 9th. October 9th, we have our Mercury-Mars Cazimi. So Mercury, Mars conjoins the sun, and also Venus conjoins the south node. A lot of focus for you on the expanded or higher mind. These topics include education, travel, spirituality, astrology, storytelling, dreams, the way you've been thinking about something in general, your mind. There's some sort of renewal happening, possibly, or extra annoyances, extra fires to put out, hard conversations, maybe experiencing feelings of letting go or loss of some kind, maybe grief. Overall, this is healing because it's during the retrograde. So there's still more to come. More will get resolved as time goes on. And then on October 10th, the next day, Saturn stations direct in Aquarius. So this is great for Aquarius placements. This is your ruling planet moving forward again. There is some sort of shift in the right direction for you. Feeling like moving forward with a new system implemented, possibly. For you, this will be with realizations with yourself, with your identity, with your body, or with your relationships, or how you are seen and how you see the world. Some sort of feeling like moving in the right direction for the coming weeks here with Saturn moving forward. And then on October 30th, Mars enters Scorpio and we have a Sun-Saturn square. And for Scorpio season, for you, focus shifts to your vocation, to your job, your career, praxis, what you are known for doing. Focus shifts there. You probably get a lot busier. Possibly when Mars moves into Scorpio on October 30th, a strong personality comes into your life at work or with praxis. At the same time, the Sun is squaring Saturn, so there could be some sort of block or delay, maybe loneliness type feeling, restriction, or maybe just a lot of hard work involved with what you are doing. So that's what I have for October 30th. That's what I have for October for my Aquariuses. I would love to hear from you. Please comment below and let me know what you're going to be for Halloween, or let me know what you have planned for this month. And I'm going to move on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces. This month, there's a lot of focus on shared resources, your partner's stuff, maybe feeling anxiety, grief, or dealing with money, or dealing with uncomfortable topics that we usually try to avoid. It's the beginning of the month for you. And then later in the month, when Scorpio season begins, things get a bit lighter and focus shifts to the higher mind topics like spirituality or the occult. Also education or travel, or dreams and storytelling. So focus shifts to lighter topics once Scorpio season begins. But let's start with October 7th. On October 7th, Venus enters Sagittarius, which is super exciting for my Pisces. There's a major boost or blessing with your vocation, with your career, or with your reputation, what you are known for doing. There's some sort of major blessing happening there for you for the next couple days. Maybe a helpful woman or Venus-y person comes into your life. But when Venus enters Sag, that is great for my Pisces. And then 10 days later, on October 17th, Jupiter stations direct, which is also great for my Pisces. Jupiter is your ruling planet, so when it starts moving forward again, you start feeling more like yourself. Maybe your vitality improves. Some sort of blessing that helps you with your mental health. Maybe a really awesome retreat. Maybe some amazing healing rest time for you. Alone time. Opportunities to heal coming up, or opportunities to make it worse. So stay conscious for this one, but overall, super great. And then on October 21st, Mars squares Pluto. So that's intense, it's dramatic, it's explosive, a surprising day, maybe with your friends or your groups or allies that you have, and also shared resources, your partner's stuff, maybe feeling anxiety, some grief, dealing with money or other topics that we usually like to avoid because they are uncomfortable. Some sort of power and control dynamics happening with shared resources and your allies, essentially. And that's what I have for Pisces this month. Please comment below and let me know what you have planned this month. Let me know what you're going to be for Halloween. I would love to hear from you. And that's what I have for everybody. I hope you all have a great October. Please don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Please comment below. I'd love to hear from all of you. Let me know what you're going to be for Halloween. And thank you so much for watching me. I will see you next time. Goodbye. October monthly horoscopes for the whores.